If you wrote this life as a screenplay, Hollywood wouldn't believe it. How can one immigrant dominate sports, define the action movie era, and capture the highest political office in California, all in one lifetime? To the world, Arnold Schwarzenegger became the living embodiment of the American dream: muscle, fame, fortune, and power. But the legend is built on flesh, blood, and sacrifice, not just ambition. Behind the grin and the blockbuster body was a man forged by trauma, driven by a desire to escape a brutal past. Few knew the darkness behind the empire, the private betrayals, the physical pain, or the obsessive pursuit of greatness. To understand the man behind the Terminator, we must leave Hollywood's bright lights and return to the ruins of post-war Austria, where the fire that would forge Arnold was first lit. Born into ruins, Arnold Alois Schwarzenegger was born on July 30th, 1947, in Thal, Austria, a tiny village near Graz. The country itself was broken, occupied by foreign armies and weighed down by the despair of defeat in World War II. In the Schwarzenegger household, life was harsh. No electricity, no central heating, and water fetched from a well, even in the freezing winter. But worse than the cold was the father, Gustav Schwarzenegger, a former Nazi Party member and local police chief. Tall, imposing, and authoritarian, he ruled the household with fear, bringing the rigidity of military discipline into every corner of domestic life. For Arnold, childhood was not play, but survival. His older brother Meinhard was the favorite, while Arnold learned early to endure neglect, ridicule, and occasional physical punishment. The seed of escape, the desire for something greater than the grim village and brutal home, was planted. The father, the rival, and the bruised boy Gustav Schwarzenegger cultivated competition between his sons, praising the stronger, punishing the weaker. Meinhard, the golden boy, thrived, while Arnold endured scorn. His father mocked his aspirations, belittled his physique, and when alcohol loosened his inhibitions, struck him. Arnold later described this childhood devoid of self-pity, recognizing it as a brutal education rather than a tragedy. While Meinhard's life eventually spiraled into alcoholism and early death, Arnold developed resilience and detachment. He began to view his family, village, and country as alien landscapes, reinforcing the sense that he was destined for something beyond Austria. The cruel domestic Darwinism and constant comparisons created a psychological edge, teaching him early that strength, intelligence, and cunning would be essential to survive, and eventually to conquer. The Dark Theater and the American Dream. Arnold's escape plan began in a darkened cinema in Graz, where newsreels showed a vibrant, booming America. Skyscrapers, cars, sunshine, confident people, all of it contrasted starkly with Austria's gray desolation. America became a destination, a dream to chase. The path clarified when he discovered Reg Park, a British bodybuilder who became Mr. Universe, and then a Hollywood star. For the first time, Arnold saw the blueprint. Bodybuilding could be a ticket out. His mother was horrified. His father mocked him. Yet the vision of Reg Park embodied a life beyond Thal, a world where physical strength could open doors. The theater screen became a map, and Arnold began plotting a journey that would span continents, industries, and genres. His obsession was no longer fantasy. It was a precise, measurable plan for domination. The gym as a prison break. Arnold's obsession became ritualized at the local gym. He trained with a fanaticism that terrified others, breaking in on Sundays when it was closed, enduring freezing temperatures to sculpt his body. Weightlifting was no longer sport, it was escape. Even during mandatory military service at 18, he maintained his regimen, pushing through fatigue and neglect. He once deserted his post to compete in a junior Mr. Europe contest in Stuttgart. Unprepared, without proper equipment, and with no experience, he nevertheless won. The lesson was clear. Conventional rules didn't apply to him. Punishment, failure, or authority were temporary obstacles, not barriers. Each triumph reinforced his belief that mental discipline, physical intensity, and audacious ambition could reshape destiny. The gym was no longer a room with iron. it was a crucible forging the Austrian oak into a weapon for the world stage. The Austrian oak becomes American steel. After early successes in Europe, Arnold set his sights on the ultimate prize, America. In 1968, at age 21, he arrived in the United States with a gym bag, a thick accent, and unshakable belief in his destiny. Meeting Joe Weider, the godfather of bodybuilding, seemed providential, yet reality hit hard. His first American competition in Miami ended in defeat at the hands of Frank Zane, a smaller but more refined competitor. Arnold cried in his hotel room, realizing sheer size alone would not suffice. While most would retreat, Arnold recalibrated. Venice Beach became his cathedral, Gold's Gym his laboratory. He attacked weaknesses, abs, calves, every detail, with scientific precision. Victory was no longer physical alone, it was psychological, a test of strategy, cunning, and will. America was a land of giants, but Arnold intended to become the tallest of them all, in muscle and in legend. Mind games that made a champion. Arnold's approach extended beyond the gym. Physical dominance was only half the battle. The other half was mental. Before contests, he befriended rivals, complimented them, then subtly undermined their confidence. He planted doubts, distracted them with humor, and controlled narratives before lifting a weight. He understood that fear and hesitation could be as crippling as lack of muscle. His training circle included Franco Columbu, Dave Draper, and Ken Waller, friends, allies, and witnesses to his methodical obsession. Here, camaraderie masked competitiveness, and charm concealed ruthlessness. Each victory, each psychological maneuver, refined the legend. Arnold was not merely competing. He was constructing a persona that would captivate cameras, fans, and eventually the global imagination. Every movement, every conversation was calculated to project inevitability, the aura of someone who could not fail. Pumping Iron and the first blockbuster. The 1977 documentary Pumping Iron immortalized Arnold's psychological mastery. The film, meant as a niche bodybuilding documentary, became a global phenomenon. Arnold dominated Lou Ferrigno, a taller and younger competitor, not just physically, but mentally. Breakfast conversations, jokes, subtle insults. He defeated rivals before the stage. The camera adored him. The public fell in love with his charisma, wit, and unapologetic arrogance. By 1975, with 6 consecutive Mr. Olympia titles, Arnold had achieved what most would consider impossible. But his ambitions had evolved. Muscle was no longer the ultimate currency. Influence, money, and global recognition became the next frontiers. He had mastered the body. Now he needed to master the world outside the gym. The millionaire who built an empire. Arnold was not just a physical specimen. He was a shrewd businessman. While peers lounged, he and Franco Columbu launched a bricklaying business, marketed as European craftsmanship to wealthy Californians. He invested in mail-order fitness courses and later real estate, becoming a millionaire by age 22. With money, fame, and physique secured, the theater of ambition returned. Hollywood. Agents mocked him. Accent too thick, name too long, body too extreme. But Arnold saw opportunity in these so-called liabilities. Where others saw barriers, he saw branding, persona, and presence. He didn't wait for permission. He built his own gateway, preparing to become a global icon whose name alone could sell tickets, products, and eventually, political influence. Hollywood laughs, then learns. Hollywood initially rejected him. Hercules in New York flopped. His voice was dubbed and critics mocked the absurdity of his physique. But Arnold approached acting like bodybuilding, discipline, repetition, and refinement. He took classes, trained speech and diction, and learned to project presence over polish. By 1982, Conan the Barbarian introduced audiences to a new archetype, primal, unstoppable, and larger than life. The sword looked tiny in his hand. The accent made him ancient and otherworldly. Arnold's breakthrough wasn't acting talent. It was inevitability. He became a living spectacle, a walking force of nature. And in 1984, the Terminator transformed him into a permanent cultural icon. James Cameron originally considered other actors, but Arnold's vision, intensity, and understanding of the machine archetype created the perfect cinematic villain, with only 17 lines and one unforgettable catchphrase. The rivalry that made action movies. Bigger Arnold's career thrived on competition. His legendary rivalry with Sylvester Stallone pushed both men to reinvent action cinema. They traded insults, dominated magazine covers, and fueled public fascination. But the rivalry wasn't only professional, it was strategic, psychological, and symbolic. Arnold understood that perception mattered as much as performance. He built a persona that was invincible on screen and formidable off it. With fame came wealth and influence, setting the stage for a second transformation: politics. The skills honed in gyms, movie sets, and psychological battles would translate into a new arena, one where charisma, timing, and public perception mattered more than physical strength. The action hero governor. In 2003, Arnold achieved a feat few could imagine. He became governor of California. He brought Hollywood showmanship to Sacramento, blending celebrity with policy. Republicans, Democrats, world leaders, and media titans saw him as both icon and authority. He passed environmental legislation, infrastructure projects, and positioned himself as a post-partisan leader. Yet politics proved messier than any movie set. Lawsuits, union strikes, and public backlash challenged his control. And the most difficult battles were internal. Secrets from his personal life threatened to unravel his carefully curated image. Fame, power, and ambition had rewards, but they demanded sacrifice, compromise, and vigilance against the shadows one carries within. Legacy and the cost of ambition. Arnold Schwarzenegger's life is the story of relentless pursuit, extraordinary ambition, and transformation. From a bruised Austrian boy to Mr. Olympia, from Hollywood's mocked giant to global superstar, and finally to governor of the world's fifth largest economy, he defied probability. Yet each triumph carried cost: personal sacrifices, hidden betrayals, and physical tolls. His legend is not only in movies or medals, but in the psychological and moral calculus behind every decision. Ambition sculpted him, but it also tested him. And while the world celebrates the achievements, only a few see the darkness, the labor, and the obsession that built the man. In the end, Arnold is both monument and man, a reminder that greatness comes with a price, and dreams, no matter how impossible, begin with fire.